What is up guys, it's Solheim here, back with another classic WoW Season of Mastery video. Now today we're talking about some updates to the game itself, and this is quite huge. We are talking about the future of Season of Mastery, we're talking about the launch itself, the content that will be available at the launch, basically Dire Maul, class changes, changes to patch 1.0 and so on, talking about level 550 class quests, PvP, world PvP objectives, and also dungeon sets and so on. It's going to be a lot of things that is going to be available at the launch of Season of Mastery that was not available at the launch of Classic WoW, and we have some news regarding Black Lotus and Elemental Fires, Elemental Earth and so on as well, so let's just go through the Blueposts. So here it is, now that we are wrapping up our beta testing phase, we want to follow up with our design intentions, clarify some topics that have come up, and answer questions we have seen from beta testers. So content adjustments. One notable aspect of our content phases in the decision to make the Dungeon Set 2, aka tier 0.5 or tier 0.5, quest lines available at launch. We also adjusted the availability of many dungeons and reputation items, making them become available earlier than they did in original World of Warcraft. Most of the changes and additions made to the boss loot tables, reputation vendors, and other sources of gear were made later in OG WoW to fill an obvious gap in viable late-game pre-raid gear or resistance gear. It makes sense with the accelerated content release cadence in Season of Mastery to move these changes up to Phase 1. This will provide more variety and value in the items available as players gear up for late game content. This also provides more goals for players to pursue and gives many classes and specs more interested gear options early on. Along those lines, we have made the following adjustments to content that will be available during Phase 1 of Season of Mastery. The first thing, and this one is pretty huge, Dire Maul will be available at the launch of Season of Mastery. This means that all of the gear you obtain from Dire Maul will be available in Phase 1 or at the launch of Season of Mastery, giving a lot of classes some huge upgrades gear-wise, but it also gives you some gold farming opportunities through the lasher farming, and also hunters and other classes can solo specific bosses to get loot. Now Dire Maul being available at the launch of Season of Mastery, and us not having any clarifications on whether or not Blizzard have done something to combat botting and gold farming and stuff in Dire Maul, like they have in previous dungeons that have been tested on the beta, like for example Princess in Moradin, now has 50% increased movement speed halfway through the fight, making her a lot more difficult to solo, as well as mobs inside the dungeon having they are immune to slow effects, so they are literally impossible for mages to solo the entirety of Moradin. Now I'm wondering if something along those lines will happen to Dire Maul, making it more difficult to farm the lashers, and also for hunter bots to bot inside Dire Maul. Changes made in patch 1.10, I almost said 1.0 there, but 1.10 to dungeon rewards will be in place at the launch of Season of Mastery. This includes the availability of idols, librams and totems, as well as the adjusted drop locations and drop rates of some items, such as the Hand of Justice in Blackrock Depths. Changes and additions made to reputation vendors and item drop rates in patches 1.6 through 1.11 will be in place at the launch of Season of Mastery, with a few exceptions. Items on vendors that are associated with reputations that are not accessible until a later content phase, such as the Sandalar tribe. Also, the world drop plans for Titanic Leggings and Sageblade will be made available in a later content phase. To facilitate the completion of the Dungeon Set 2, aka tier 0.5, questlines at the launch of Season of Mastery, the Twilight's Hammer camps in Silithus can be used to summon Elemental Templars and Dukes. Please note that the rest of the Cenarian Hold and Silithus activities associated with the AQ opening and AQ itself will remain unavailable until the Ankiraj War Effort event kicks off later. Level 50 class quests will be available at the launch of Season of Mastery. Warsong Gulch, Arathi Basin, and Alterac Valley will all be available at the launch of Season of Mastery, and the world PvP objectives in Eastern Plaguelands will be enabled at the launch of Season of Mastery. Now, this next headline, I'm only going to read the headline, we don't need to talk a lot about it, but it's no major class changes announced for Season of Mastery. If you want to read the entire post, I will leave a link down below so you can check it out for yourself, but there's no major class changes, and that is pretty much all you need to know. Now, for the PvP honor system, we have some accelerated speed that requires earning rank 14 in Season of Mastery. So basically, in WoW Classic, the number 1 ranked player would have an expected honor of 65,000, requiring 12 weeks to reach the 60k honor, needed to reach rank 14, and that is assuming they remained at rank 1 for all 12 weeks. In Season of Mastery, it is possible for a player to progress through those ranks in 6 consecutive weeks, so you can rank up way faster. One more thing I want to talk about that is looking forward, and that like a lot of people, both in the comment section on Reddit and Wowhead, and also the WoW forums, have been asking what happens next with our characters at the end of the season. So they are talking about this here, and that is, finally, many classic players have asked that what will happen at the end of Season of Mastery, and here's the answer. When Season of Mastery concludes, you will have the option to permanently transfer your character to an existing Classic Era realm in your region. This free service will become available for a limited time at the conclusion of the season. While we don't know yet the exact destination realm and specific date, you will have plenty of time to move your character to a safe home before all of Season of Mastery realms are permanently closed. And that is pretty much it. That is post number 1. We have another one, so let's just go through it. We have developed some adjustments to a few items that we want to see more available early in Season of Mastery than they were in OG Classic WoW. We are increasing the availability of Plague Bloom, and also adding a small chance for Black Lotus to drop from high-level Herbalism nodes, and increasing the availability of Elemental Fire, Elemental Earth, and Elemental Water. These adjustments are not yet testable on the Season of Mastery beta, but they will be deployed there at some point over the next few days. Now, in my opinion, this was actually bound to happen at some point because raiding becomes more difficult in Season of Mastery, and we also don't have any world buffs, so people are going to be popping consumes a lot more than in OG Classic WoW, pretty much going to be popping consumables left, right and center, so we needed to increase the availability of these things, but that also means they will be dropping in price, and the expected profitability on investment and farming these specific items will not be the same as predicted before this happened. Now, that being said, there are still some huge gold making and gold farming potential in Season of Mastery, and I've made and published my own gold making guide on Season of Mastery. The feedback on this one has been insane so far. I'm so happy you guys are enjoying it. You can get access to it right now using the code Solheim. You will get 50% off. And also, there's 38 different gold farms in this gold guide, as well as 36 different items to invest in, and these are all highly relevant, even with these changes. So if your gold making plans was to either farm for Plague Bloom or Black Lotus, or Elemental Fire, Elemental Earth or Elemental Water, well, now your plans might be a bit screwed or skewed, whatever, and you might need some different gold farms to test out, so there you go, that's the shout out and the sellout. And that is pretty much it, guys. That's the entire video. I'm actually surprised Blizzard are making these changes so close to launch. We are 11 days away from the launch right now, maybe 12 when I upload this, depending, or 10 I mean, depending if I can get it up today. But we are really close to launch, and I'm really surprised they are making these changes right now, or maybe they already made them, but they just let us know about them. It is kinda suspicious, they might be pushing it out, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think it will be delayed, but it's so weird. They are giving us these updates now, and the beta is still up as well for testing. And they are also making some last minute changes to Onyxia, the fight itself. So either way, guys, that's some huge updates for Season of Mastery. It's looking to be a lot different this time around than in Classic WoW. It's going to be a brand new experience, and I'm super hyped. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did in fact enjoy the video, please consider dropping a like on it. It helps my channel out more than you know, and I honestly really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.